gosh, man.
Oh, Devaldo, man. Deval and I reminiscing
Oh
about the old
gosh,
days.
going
The,
back.
this is going back some time. But listen, folks, we're so glad that you could join
Oh,
us for another episode. Like, I mean, it's been a week.
yeah.
Well, actually, I've got to say, yeah, you know what? Last week, there's a whole delay in getting the episode out. I think I dropped it on Thursday or Friday or something like that. But
The world stopped, just for a few days. I swear the world stopped spinning. Things didn't feel the
trust
same. I was like, what's going on?
It's
What's
so
going
true.
on?
It
I
is
was
so
like,
true.
shit.
Damn. Hold on, man. I just need
Oh,
to
yeah,
get lighted
lights, you
up.
see?
I just need to get
Get
lighted up
them,
over here. You know how
get
it
them
is.
Hollywood lights on, man. 3-point lighting. Look at that. The Rainbow Bridge,
Oh man.
everything.
Oh shit. Keep talking about. Got the light malfunction.
We should make it smart so I can control it from here.
Oh, that'd be
That would
brilliant.
be interesting. It's taken away the illusion. All this time, I thought that lampshade had its own bulb. Little do I know, it's a device you put in
It's
there.
a
Yeah?
device that I put
It's
in there.
trickery. It's
I got that
trickery.
from I think was it AliExpress? Yeah, AliExpress or something. Really cheap, man. The decent lights.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
anyone is
yeah.
looking to get some lights. But listen, look, folks, thanks for downloading another episode. This is episode 194, and we're going to try and fit in. We haven't done this for a while, actually. We're going to try and fit in 3 movies. All
Yeah.
depends on timing. I know you've got busy schedules. I mean, Deval's got a busy schedule. So we don't want to keep this guy. This guy, man, he's got stuff to do and like people to meet and everything. So we're going to try and keep this sweet. We're going to try and keep this cool. So join us for the next 45, 50 minutes or so. We're going to be talking movies. We've got some shout outs, movie news, new on streaming, what trailers you need to be watching, and also
Mhm.
anniversary corner, and obviously some movies that we're going to speak about. But listen, before all of that stuff, Deval,
All of that.
take it away.
Yeah, one shout out this week. Shout out goes out to our very own Emmanuel. Emmanuel's always giving us movie news and all the updates
Yeah,
and
man.
stuff like that. You've seen him on the show a few times. He's going to come back on the show soon, and I've said that a few times that we've got to really sort it out. But some of the movie news that we're going to, talk about today actually did come from
Come from Emmanuel.
his reporting. He's like a movie journalist. So big shout out goes out to Emmanuel, and yeah, we'll see him soon. So yeah, I know he's listening right now. So it's gonna feel weird for him, like we're talking to him from the past and the future and the
Yeah.
present all at once.
Exactly, and I hope Emmanuel's I hope he like screams stuff out. He's like, no, that's right. No,
Oh
that's
yeah,
not
he's
right.
gonna
We
yeah, he's
because we
doing it
always
now.
get we always get actors' names wrong and shit
Yeah,
like that. And I
yeah,
bet
yeah,
you
yeah.
all that sort of stuff. If you're listening, Emmanuel, cheers, man. Thanks for the Daddy Day wishes as well. So
Happy Father's
happy
Day to all the
Father's Day.
fathers. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
to all the I am your father. you know,
We'll get into that. We're going to get into that.
yeah.
So listen, look, let's get into movie news. And yeah, man, I was surprised about this. I didn't know this movie was being worked on. And
Mhm.
then I thought to myself, hang on a second, they're doing a Barbie movie. And
Yeah.
then I thought, okay, that was crazy. But then I thought, Ryan Gosling, what's he doing in a Barbie movie? So Devout, tell us about this, because this is going to be coming out soon, right? Next
Yeah,
year,
this is
maybe?
coming out next year, 2023. So
Mm,
this is the Barbie movie that Margot Robbie has been working on for a while. She's got her own production company. She's a gangster, a gangstress, I should say. She's an actress, producer, got her own production company, and this is one of the films that she's going to be releasing next year. And she's going to also be starring as Barbie, who we've known for many years. Is Barbie Mattel, the toy company?
Oh, yeah,
One
you're
of them. I
right.
don't know if it's Mattel or whatever, but basically Barbie's been around for years. Barbie, you got Ken.
Don't.
So Ryan Gosling is going to be playing Ken. I didn't
Mm,
realize that, but he's going to be playing
yeah,
Ken, the iconic, blonde hunk of a man, of a
yeah.
doll, but now brought to life as a man. And there's an image of Ryan Gosling as Ken with, blonder than blonde hair, obviously his abs and all that kind of stuff
It's
sticking
his
out.
abs. People are getting
Yeah,
the internet is bloody melted away because of this picture. There's one
exactly.
thing, but so this is, but it's not going to be like a typical. I mean, I wonder what angle they're going to go for this movie though, because
I can
Ryan
tell
Gosling,
you.
Margot, yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just going to be about the stereotypical sort
Mm,
of white blonde couple, Barbie and Ken. this is going to be a bit of a modern version. They're going to jazz it up a bit. So the
Mm.
actor who's going to be in Doctor Who, the new Doctor Who, in QT Gatwa,
Yeah, we spoke
uh,
about him.
yeah, he's actually going to be playing Ken as well. So there's going to be multiple Barbie and Kens.
A
Uh,
multiverse of Kens.
there you go. Issa Rae, who's been in Insecure,
Yes.
she's going to be playing Barbie as well. I'm not sure how much Barbie and Ken we're going to see of these, obviously, alternative variations, but
Yeah.
I think obviously because of the modern age and trying to bring in diversity and all that
Yeah.
sort of thing, I think they don't want to just have one version of Barbie and Ken, because I think they want Barbie and Ken to be an ideal that
Mm.
is, that is reachable for everyone, no matter where you're from. You
Yeah.
don't just have to be white and blonde to achieve the Barbie and Ken status. So, yeah, we'll see what it comes, what comes of it next year, what the content, the scripts, the sort of story is going to be about. But
Yeah.
I'll probably give it a go
Oh,
next
we
year.
will. I mean, we'll watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Margot Robbie, she was. I didn't know this until kind of like until recently, but she used to be in Neighbours.
Yes, she was in Neighbours. Yes, and Neighbours, just for people that don't know, one of the top Australian soap dramas that of all time. Actually, just as you mentioned it, Neighbours is going to be recording its last show on the
Is it
1st of August 2022. So Neighbours is coming to an end. So after like
after?
30 plus years, it's going to be
And
coming to
how
an end.
big was it in the UK, man? Massive. I
Massive. I
remember
used to rush home from
huge.
school to watch it.
Me as well.
Kylie
Charlene,
Minogue was in
yeah,
it. Charlene, Kylie Minogue, Jason Donovan,
Donovan, Guy
uh,
Pearce.
Guy Pearce. These massive Hollywood actors
Yeah,
have come from Home and Away and Neighbours. So it's like a
mad.
factory. It's a
Chris
factory. Chris
Hemsworth,
Hemsworth.
Thor,
There
all
you
those
go.
guys. There you go, man. It's
Yep.
like seriously, wow. I didn't know about it kind of like ending, but yeah.
Mm.
So listen, yeah, go check that out if you haven't seen the picture. I'm pretty sure you're gonna kind of like swoon. Well, maybe the chicks will. But listen, let's move on to this other news. Chris Evans,
Hmm.
who we're going to speak a bit about Chris Evans later on in a film review. But what's this with him and the Human Torch, Deval? Come on, come on, tell us about this.
Yeah, there's been some talk about who's going to play the Human Torch. I know Emmanuel just literally just hot off the press. He posted
Mm,
some news about the Human Torch possibly being played by someone called Rudy Pankow. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah,
mm,
Chris Evans, Captain America, who previously played the Human Torch in two outings of the Fantastic Four,
yeah.
he's saying he's open to return as the Human Torch. So I mean, that would be interesting because for him to return as the Human Torch and then to interact with other MCU
Oh yeah.
characters, it'll have his face will be Captain America, but he'll be
Mm,
Human Torch. And how would that work? I don't think it will,
yeah.
but he's saying he's open to it. I hope it doesn't happen, but
Exactly. Unless it's kind of some sort of throwaway thing, like another multiverse. Could it be
yeah,
something like that? Maybe. Who
exactly. Yeah,
knows? Kind of
yeah,
bit of an in joke
exactly.
type of thing like that. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. But stranger things have happened, folks. You just don't know with these
Mm,
things. All right, let's move on to this other HBO news over here. And HBO, they're behind some massive shows, over the last kind of like, 10, 15 years. But the
yeah.
one show that Deval and I and a host of us in the office that we regularly used to speak about and be like, wow, do you remember that bit? Do you remember this bit, that bit? I'm talking about Game of Thrones. This show
Oh, I thought you meant Sex in the City. Oh man, you
did
had me
that
there
as
for a
well.
second.
Oh my god! I actually watched that. Do you know that? I actually
Did
watched
you?
what is it called? The recent one.
Oh, it was called. Oh, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's not called Sex and the City. It's called something else,
No.
isn't it? Yeah, it'll come
And
to me. It'll come to me.
the
And
thing that
just like that, and just like that,
and just
it's
like that
called. Yeah,
at the end, because she's had beef with Kim
Samantha.
Cattrall,
Yeah,
with Samantha. Like in real life, there's proper
yeah,
real life beef with those guys. The way they tied it all up with
yeah,
Samantha as well, I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
shit, boy, they done something there. But anyway, listen, look, okay, I digress. So Game of Thrones, check this out. Kit Harrington apparently is attached to reprise his role as Jon Snow on a
Mm,
Game of Thrones project
bastard.
to take place after the events of the original series. So, Deval, come on, let's jog everyone's memory. What happened at the end of Game of Thrones? because this is divisive.
Yeah. So, in the Game of Thrones, obviously, uh, Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen, she became powerful. You know, she's
Yeah.
got her dragons. She assumed the throne, but she turned kind of evil as well. All the other houses, you know, Jon Snow, you know, the Starks, and everyone else kind of had to get together to try and, you know, fight against her almost. Massive war, lots of people died. But yeah, it ended kind of sourly because there was a year break. The ending was rushed. There was 6 episodes, I think, in the in the last season. Lots of people died and stuff, and it was just a bit of a sour ending. And I think Jon Snow ended up. Did he? Yeah, he
Yeah.
actually ended up having to kill Daenerys Stormborn of House
Yeah.
Targaryen. Remember?
Yes. And then
Yeah,
the dragon didn't kill him.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, so this is going to basically pick up after that. And this is going to look at the story of Jon Snow after the events of the last season of Game of Thrones and see how he's had to live his life and what's happened next, and maybe pick up on a few other of the houses around the north where he's most likely going to settle, being a man
Mm.
from the north. So we'll see if other characters like what's her name, Sansa Stark, who's going to be the
Yeah.
Queen of Winterfell, maybe
Arya.
the wildlings, if he's still, you know, hanging out with them, and anyone else. So it'd be interesting to see how this is going to turn out. This is also going to happen after the prequel of House of the Dragon, which we're going to be
Yeah.
expecting in a couple of months' time now. So I guess, yeah, Game of Thrones understand how powerful the IP is, and if they can do it right, it will be a success. If they do it wrong, people will be angry.
Yeah. They will be angry, definitely. And just on that, Devado, they're not only just doing that. Apparently, they're doing 10,000 ships. That's another show that they're working on.
10,000 ships to go
Yep.
where?
Exactly. They're working on 9 voyages. They're
Huh?
working on. There are also 3 animated prequel projects, including
Ah,
the Golden Empire. It's all they're doing. Apparently, they're working
mhm.
on so many different projects, and they want this
Yeah,
kind of Game of Thrones universe to.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that one. Interesting stuff. It'd be interesting to see what they do with it, but we're not holding our breath yet. So let's move on to other
Mm.
stuff. Millie Bobby Brown. Now, Deval, you've spoken about Stranger Things. You
Yep.
said it's. I still haven't caught up on this, by the way. But listen, the new season is already out, and there's a lot of stuff going on. The kids have all grown up, but Millie Bobby Brown on this show, I didn't realize she's 18 years old right now,
Yeah,
and she is kind of she's the face of that. I know the other kids, like they're obviously like big characters in it as well, but she's kind of been the face of Stranger Things, right?
yeah,
And her profile has gotten bigger. She's done other stuff for Netflix. I know she did Enola Holmes. She was in King Kong as well. She's done kind of other things. But check this out. The rumors are going around that Millie Bobby Brown has reportedly held secret talks with Disney for a role in the Star Wars franchise.
okay.
So,
I mean,
I mean, yeah, I mean,
I can see that happening. She's already
yeah,
doing this with her powers now, so she's pretty much got the
Jedi.
force.
She's a Jedi, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not surprised.
So listen, there's going to be a lot of force. The one thing that I didn't, what I don't get though, is go after the whole kind of the Mandalorian and stuff like that.
Mm.
Shouldn't we be seeing more force sensitive people? Because so far, who do we have who's force sensitive? Who's left?
Who's left? What do you mean left? As
It's just
in,
like
oh,
like
who's left?
if,
Left. Okay.
like in the kind of timeline. So
Mm.
Mandalorian is
A Jedi.
after Jedi. So
Yeah.
we've
So
got Luke. Luke is still alive,
yeah,
like so to
Ahsoka.
speak.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, yeah.
Hmm.
And like, who else is who?
Not
What
many.
others? Not many,
All the
right?
66 killed a lot of them. A
Yeah.
lot of them. All the
Mm.
66. So I wonder
And
if there's ever like if there was a Star Wars restaurant, there'd be no like 66. Oh, can I order a 66,
can I have
please? Be
66,
like,
mate? Yeah.
all the Jedi's would be like,
We're going to get onto that, folks. So just keep
yep,
listening. All right. We're going to bring on to that. But listen, before we get to that, I want to speak about this guy, Deval. I'm not sure if you heard all this shit, right? But Ezra Miller, this things are not right with this guy because apparently
mm,
now a 12-year-old child granted an order protection against Ezra Miller the child alleges they were scared of Miller's behavior. So um, this just leaked. This came out, and obviously this is unconfirmed, so it's been reported.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Hmm.
we're not gonna kind of just spread kind of like mindless kind of nonsense. So it's been
Yeah.
unreported.
No defamation cases here, please.
Exactly. Amber Heard, get off our case. So look, the neighbor alleges in the interview that Miller was under the influence and later started to explode and started screaming in the neighbor's face. So this is kind of like another incident in a long line of incidents
Yeah.
associated with this guy, leading apparently, again, this is conjecture, apparently Ezra Miller, he's not what DC, what the rumor is that DC aren't going to be going ahead with Ezra Miller in any future Flash projects. So what the hell's going on, man?
Damn. It seems like just a flash flood of bad news with him, isn't it? There's like all sorts. There was a assault charge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This recent one you've mentioned, I mean, just as you've read it out, the alleged case, it sounds like normal argy-bargy sort of neighborly arguments and stuff.
Mm.
I don't know why this one's going to court, but yeah, there's a lot going on with him. And even, you know what, I didn't realize. I don't know. Does he cross-dress or something? I mean, not that it's any
Yes.
of my business, but
He
I didn't realize that because I was researching pictures of him a few weeks ago, and I saw all
oh
these pictures of him. I wasn't sure if it was for a character or in a role, but I realized it's actually him in his normal life.
yeah, and by the way, sorry, we might get a bit of flack for this if anyone
How
is
is it?
listening, because sorry, he's they should be addressed as they.
Oh, is it? I didn't
Yes.
know that. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So
Sorry, totally
he
forgot about
he's
that.
non-binary.
Non-binary, they, them.
Ah,
So they, yeah,
non-binary.
yes. So
Wonder how Captain Marvel feels about that, because you know she goes binary sometimes, isn't it? Captain Marvel goes full binary with her powers. But no, you're
so
right. Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
realize that. Yeah, okay.
yeah, exactly. So they are in some going forward. Um, Ezra Miller might not find himself like in the
Mm,
DCEU. It all depends on this movie, Devado. I reckon they've
yeah,
got a lot of shit going on this riding on this movie, man. It's
yeah,
got to be a
yeah,
hit for them.
yeah. It's got to be.
It's got to be.
Got to
All
be.
right, listen. Finally, on our movie news, just kind of want to touch up on this thing. Shang-Chi director Daniel, I always get his name right, Destin Daniel Cretton, apparently, Devaldo, is going to
Yep.
be hooking up with Marvel and Disney Plus. Remember, he brought us Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, but apparently, according to our little birdies, are saying that he is going to be coming back for a TV show on Disney Plus titled Wonder Man.
Oh yeah. Okay, I've heard something about that. Yeah, Wonder Man.
So Wonder Man
Yeah.
was created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Don Heck in as a villain in 1964, before becoming more of a hero in the 1980s. So he's kind of gone
Mm,
through kind of like a lot of history and like changes and stuff like that. But yeah, they're working on a Wonder Man, and I didn't know this. There was some sort of kind of legal wrangling between DC and Marvel, because obviously they've got Wonder Woman. They
mm.
had kind of first dibs on the name Wonder, and then Marvel had this guy, this Wonder Man, and there was some sort of thing going on. But then they didn't know whether or not they were going to kind of go ahead with the Wonder Man. They eventually did, and maybe
Mm.
he could be coming to Disney Plus. But listen, Devout man, they're really going for it with these shows. What do you reckon?
They are, and another show I didn't realize is getting made is Okoye. I somehow missed that, and Zakroff
Yes.
pointed it out to me.
Yeah.
So that's going to be good. But yeah, Wonder Man's going to be decent, hopefully. It's a different character. Not many people know about him and his powers, his origins. So it depends who. I don't know who they're going to cast, but there's a lot happening on Disney Plus. They are really filling up that content
Mm.
and making it, an attractive
Yeah.
prospect for possible subscribers. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, look, any more news on that one, we'll definitely keep you posted. So check that out. And yeah, if there's any other news that you know about, let us know. Hit us up on
Mm,
Instagram. We're more than willing to talk about it. But now let's speak about new on streaming. So there's a couple of shows that we want to speak about. We mentioned
mhm.
kind of the Force. We mentioned Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi, episode 5 dropped on Wednesday. We're all up to date. And they did some flashbacks on this
Yeah.
episode. So Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, they have some little duel. And there's a little bit of a flashback going on with Obi-Wan, right, on this one. So there's a kind of little bit of I
Mm.
suppose before he gets it to become a Jedi, he has to
Yeah,
have a kind of one final challenge.
yeah. It's almost like he's past. He's like the event that gives him a pass or fail, isn't it? That sort of test almost. And you can see he's slightly older because even though it's meant to be from back in the
They
day,
didn't de-age him.
yeah. Well, I think they did, but just not so much because he still looks
Mm-mm.
older.
Yeah,
And Ewan
he did,
McGregor.
didn't he?
Yeah, but yeah, it just goes to show Jedi's. I think Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi says during the test, Jedi's are about defending people, not
Mm,
about attacking. And I think it shows that uh, what's his name, Anakin. He's very much an aggressor, which is obviously why he was able to go over to the dark side. His heart, loss and fear and all that kind of stuff within his heart. So yeah, it just goes to show, but also goes to show that he's learned because from then until now, I think he learned that lesson of of being the attacker, being the aggressor, and also how to win battles sometimes,
mm,
with non-violence and being more strategic. So
yeah.
those lessons taught him to be a better Darth Vader.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And on this episode, Deval, do you remember
Mm,
we spoke about this maybe a couple of weeks ago? We said about Reva.
mm. Yeah,
Um, we said there's more to her story,
yeah,
and it kind of we deep down inside, she really wanted to go for Anakin Skywalker. She wanted to
yeah.
go for Darth Vader because of Order 66. And there's a
Mm.
flashback to that. She was one of the kids. She survives, gets taken.
Younglings.
She's one of the
Mm,
younglings. She gets taken under his wing. And, and then ever since that time, she's harbored kind of like revenge. And she's also
mm.
angry at Obi-Wan Kenobi because it's like, where the hell were you? Why
Yeah,
weren't you
yeah.
there to like help us all? So there's all that going on. And in a way, man, I was like, I, I could see it coming, but also I reckon they could have double twisted it and maybe have been kept her as more of a villain, and that would have been really good as well.
Mm.
But the Grand Inquisitor, he comes back, the other Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many inquisitors, isn't there? And now he gets made Grand Inquisitor, and I think the fight between Darth Vader and the third sister,
Mm,
it's an interesting fight. Some
yeah.
people say it was quite good. Some people are saying it wasn't so good. But yeah, I think even Darth Vader he didn't use his own lightsaber, did he? He just used the Force,
Ah,
and he just sort of ducked and dived and stuff like that. So
yeah.
it's an interesting fight. It just goes to show she is capable, but no one's as capable when it comes
That's
to Darth Vader, but
exactly.
yeah, she's still alive, and we'll see what happens with her next. There's one episode left, isn't there? I think there's six
That's it.
episodes altogether, I
Yeah,
think.
this is
So
it. On Wednesday is going to be the finale.
yeah,
So we'll find out exactly how it all pans out. A lot of people are saying, I'm not sure if you caught up on this, but the message in Star Wars episode 1, when
yeah.
Leia, when she's like, General Kenobi, I need your help. You were,
Mm,
why is it that she doesn't mention the relationship that they've
that
that
they
they've
had
had
before.
that they've
Yeah,
had
I know,
before.
I know,
So,
I know.
and apparently, this last final episode is going to tie that up. There's going to be some
Okay,
sort of kind of thing where I bet you it's going to be like he mind wipes her memory or something.
there you go. Yeah,
Uses the force. It's
I
got to be something
reckon.
like that.
Yeah, exactly. I reckon
So
so.
if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ms. Marvel, the second episode dropped, and another interesting episode. I there was it was interesting. I found it kind of going off into kind of different kind of parts. I'm
Mm.
not too keen on this guy, this British guy that they pulled out, and he's kind of like kind of
Oh, yeah,
the
the cool guy with the
the
Porsche or
cool guy.
something.
Yeah, he's got the
Yeah.
Porsche and everything like that. But there's some interesting bits in there where they start going into kind of like historical
Mm.
facts. They start talking about the British in there, start talking about partition,
Mm.
something what happened in 1947.
Mm.
And some
Yeah,
of that
yeah, yeah,
conversation I can
yeah,
relate to, because I
yeah.
know that people like in my family, they would say,
Mm.
oh, this is what happened, and like this is the situation that it was left in 1947 and all that sort of stuff. So
Mm.
that was all great. Miss Marvel, she uses her powers a bit more. She's kind of in love. She's
Mm.
got the hots for this new kid, but there's something going on with this new kid as well.
Yeah.
So it goes off in different tangents. So yeah, but it's interesting to see kind of where this is going. But here's the thing: apparently the viewership for this show
Mm.
has dropped considerably.
Has it?
Yeah.
I reckon it's too
So
funky for some people because it is a bit of a funky show. All
yeah,
the sort of thinking out loud on screen. Maybe
yeah.
some people aren't ready for it, or maybe So then maybe it's like the fact that people can't relate. Maybe they want to
Yeah,
see the stereotypical sort of, sort of all American,
yeah,
star. Whereas
yeah,
now
definitely.
we have a star who's Asian,
Yeah,
Muslim, and maybe some people aren't feeling it because of that, which is a sad thing because I
it's
think
sad.
it's good.
Exactly. Apparently, Moon Knight,
Mm,
the viewing figures for Moon Knight were really good. That pulled in a
okay.
lot of viewers. But compared to Ms. Marvel,
Mm.
apparently they're not hitting 1 million viewers.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's
Yeah,
sad. That's sad.
it's sad. I know. And there's a lot of interesting things about this. And
Mm,
remember, there's still only, like, we still got a kind of, several episodes to go through. So we're going
yeah.
to see how this links in with
Mm,
Captain Marvel, with the
mm.
Marvels. And, like,
I reckon
maybe,
we're bound to see Captain Marvel. We got to see. She's got to show up for something.
or there's got to be Tiona Paris. Is it Tiona
Yeah.
Paris? No.
Monica Rambeau. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's her
yeah,
name. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So maybe
Mm,
in the final episode we get this kind of thing.
mm.
Now, do you remember that agency? They call them. They're keeping an eye on them.
The one that was in Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Something tells me, man, they're Skrulls.
Ah, do you reckon?
They could be because
Oh,
this
okay.
also, because remember this leading
Yeah,
up to Secret Wars, Samuel L.
yeah.
Jackson, he's got his thing, and it could all be, man. There's something about this where I'm
Okay,
like,
okay, okay.
yeah, just keep an eye on
Mm,
that one. But listen, yeah, go check out Ms. Marvel. I'm telling you, I mean, I wouldn't normally kind of connect with this program because look, I'm not Muslim. I'm
mm.
I'm not a 16-year-old girl from Jersey. So there's there's a lot of this stuff but
Yeah,
I find myself like interested. I
good.
want to find out what happens to this character,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of good stuff going on in this. So yeah, give it a chance, give it a go, and it might surprise you. And then
Mm.
Deval, the fifth episode of The Boys. Oh my gosh,
Boys.
man.
Oh, mate. Do you know what? This show is one of the best shows on streaming on TV
Yeah,
right now. Every
you just gotta
episode
watch it.
is just crazy. It's good. There's always like a display of crazy power, a display of stupidity, a
Yeah.
display of arrogance. Like Homelander, I think you can't cast a better actor for
Oh
Homelander.
man, he's
He plays that
brilliant.
role so well. But honestly, just in some I think his best episodes are where he doesn't even hurt anyone. It's
No.
where it shows his crazy mindset and just how he interacts with people. That is more deadly for me. And
And everyone is walking around eggshells, like, because
yeah,
they know that he can just explode. But
yeah,
we've been introduced to this new guy called Soldier Boy.
yeah.
Yeah. And this guy's got some serious power as well.
I didn't realize
S-
how powerful he is because they showed some testing of to see how resilient he is, and they
It
shot
reminded me
him
of Winter
in the
Soldier.
mouth. They shot him in the mouth with a machine gun, and he
Yeah.
was okay.
Yeah, it reminded me of Winter Soldier because, like, he's been kept in Russia. They're like,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
kept him in,
yeah.
like, some sort of tank thing.
Stasis. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's back on the scene, and he
Mm.
apparently it's been like 40 years since he's been last been in New York, and there's kind of been an incident over there. So the good thing here, well, the crazy thing here is Huey and Butcher, they've been taking Compound V.
Mm. And I didn't realize what Huey's power was. I didn't realize he actually teleports. I thought he was quick. So he actually, I think in episode 4,
Mm,
there's a part where he punched the guy in the stomach. But what he actually done was teleported into his stomach and
nasty,
just crazy. But yeah,
crazy.
there's now lots of I don't know, there's now new team ups, but also
Mm,
people that are falling out of each other because their objectives no longer align.
yeah,
So
man,
there's a lot of friction going on right now in the boys,
big
but
time.
it's good.
It's great. It's brilliant. The only final thing I'm going to ask you is, Deval, what did you make of Butcher seeing a little kid when he was? Did you remember? There's a little flash of
Yes. I
what?
I thought he saw maybe his own. Has he got a son? I don't know if he has got a son, but I thought he
No.
either saw. I thought he had a child somewhere, but maybe also maybe of a younger version of him, and maybe when he was younger and someone forced him to do something, or he's trying to. Maybe it showed like when he was younger and him trying to be what he thought he should be, and he never
Yeah.
got the chance to not be his true self, and now he's turned into this, and he's
Mm.
thinking, oh, Huey's now going to turn into a version of me. Like, do I want to be responsible
Oh,
for that? So
yeah.
it might be
That
something like
makes
that.
sense.
Mm,
That's actually didn't think about that. Very good. Listen, if you haven't seen The Boys, go check it out. There's 5 episodes up there, and they drop every Friday.
Yeah.
So yeah, do yourself a favor and go watch that. Now, new trailers. I've heard about this, Deval. I didn't see the trailer, but tell us about Blonde.
This is a very, very quick trailer. So this is Blonde, and this is basically the biopic of Marilyn Monroe. And the trailer is very quick. Basically an image of Ana de Armas playing Marilyn Monroe. She's in her dressing room and she's looking in the mirror. She's going through. There's no dialogue. She's just going through certain emotions. She's looking really depressed and sad and unsure. Then she goes to that instant bright smile of Marilyn Monroe that we all recognize, and
Yeah,
she looks just like her.
yeah,
She's got those her eyes really light up when she smiles. Obviously, she's got the whole makeup and stuff. But yeah, this is looking like it could be interesting. It's coming out in December or September. Yeah, I think it's December it's coming out. So quite a long time still to go. Some people are saying this could be an Oscar nomination for Ana de
mm,
Armas.
maybe,
Some people are
perhaps.
saying she's done such a great job on this, but time will tell. This is going to be on Netflix, so you ain't got to go far to see it.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
yeah, she's really doing some good things, Ana de Armas.
yeah, she's
So
great.
mm,
Yeah, I want to go check that out, and I've heard some stuff about it. So yeah, if you have got the time, go check it out as well. All right, let's move on to Anniversary Corner, and this one from 20 years ago, 2002. Oh my gosh. So this is 28 weeks later. This is the sequel to 28 Days Later.
yep.
And it
I know. So
stars,
this is 28 days later. It should be. I think I might have put weeks, but this should be
oh,
28. Sorry, 28
right.
days later. Sorry, my fault. But
Yeah. So this is the Danny Boyle
yes,
directed, Killian
yeah.
Murphy starring. And I remember when this came out, there's this when I saw the trailer for this one, there's that image of him like down the street. I don't know
Mm,
where it was in London, but it's just like so iconic. Him walking out, he doesn't know what
mm,
the hell's going on. He's kind of disorientated, and he's like, "Where the hell is everyone?" And it's like the streets of London are deserted.
yeah, which you hardly ever see.
See, exactly. But
Hardly.
yeah,
But this
man.
is a great film. And this showed
Mm,
us not vampires, zombies that are
mm,
fast and aggressive. Very different to what we've been, used to with like, George, is it George A or George C. Romero,
yeah,
like, Land of the Dead and stuff like that.
slowly
The
and
old
walking
school
slowly.
uh, so you're very slow, but this is very fast. And the reason why I put it up in here, because up here, yes, it was directed by Danny Boyle, but it was written by Alex Garland. I
Yeah.
had no idea. This is
Mm,
20 years ago. So Alex Garland was, putting pen to paper and doing classics like this. I just want to mention also another quick mention for another film. We're doing two anniversary corners today. So Dread. Dread, starring guess who from The
yeah,
Boys?
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban, yes. So Dread came out in 2012, 10
I
years
loved
ago,
it.
starring Carl Urban. And we mentioned Game of Thrones earlier, also starring Lena Headey, who
Yep.
played Cersei. This film was written also by, guess who, or
Um,
co-written by Alex Garland,
yeah,
and this one is a great film. People loved it
I loved it.
better than the Sylvester Stallone version. This one
Yep.
was more comic book accurate. Dredd never took his helmet off. You
Mm,
hardly find that in a Hollywood movie because the Hollywood movies, the actors have to portray emotions with their face and so on. With this, Carl Urban
He's just
does it
got this
all
bit
there,
over here.
all there. And this film was great film. I'm not even going to talk much about it. Go and see it if you haven't seen it.
It's
It's
great.
it's
It's good,
R
man.
rated. It's an hour and a half, all in one place. Go watch it.
Yeah. And that leads us nicely onto
Hmm.
um, this movie, the review, one of the reviews that we're going to be speaking about, which Deval has kindly been sitting on this review for about a couple of weeks, and we were going to speak about it last week, but then obviously we didn't. But Deval went out and watched this, and he's got some interesting things to say about this movie. So this is called Men. It's a recent release. I'm still waiting for it out here in Australia. But Deval, you went out and watched it. Tell us, take it away, man. Let us know about this movie. Describe it, and yeah, tell us your thoughts.
Okay, so this film is called Men, and from that title alone, you're not really sure what to expect. Is it going to be a film about, about the ultimate feminist and maybe battling against men? Are men some sort of villain in this film? I still don't fully know, but this film is written and directed by Alex Garland, who brought us Ex Machina, who
Yeah,
brought us what else did he bring us? the one where
Annihilation.
Annihilation with Natalie Portman in the forest and the shimmer.
Mm.
But yeah, written and directed by Alex Garland, starring Jesse Buckley, who was in a film called Wild Rose. I haven't seen that yet. Was in Wild Rose. Also was in uh, Fargo as well, among others. Also, this film stars Roy Kinnear, who we've seen in James Bond. He was like James Bond's, like, MI6 sort of office person.
Yep.
Also, this film stars Papa Essiedu, who we saw in I May Destroy You. Really good actor as
Oh,
well,
okay, yeah.
as well as Gangs of London. He was in as well. Those are the three main people in this film, I'd say. But I'm not going to go too. This isn't going to be a long review, but this is going to be a frank review. This film is about a young woman who goes on a solo vacation in the English countryside, following the death of her ex-husband, who's played by Papa Essiedu.
Right.
And you find this out during flashbacks throughout the film. They had issues. They had some deep issues in their relationship. They were going through a separation. Things got violent. Papa Essiedu's character, who's called James, he gets violent to Harper, who's played by Jessie Buckley, and she gets angry, kicks him out. He says he's going to kill himself, all kinds of things like that. So you get this all in flashbacks. And you also see the scene in flashbacks of him falling off a roof in slow
Yep.
motion. And then he gets impaled, he dies.
Damn.
So that's why she's going on this retreat, to get away from the city, to try and clear her head. That's why she's out there. Where she is in this countryside, she rents a cottage all by herself. The person that, well, all the other men in this film are played by Roy Kinnear, and I must say he does a great job. So he's the person that
Wow.
owns the cottage. He rents it out to her. He's a weird character, but he is what he is.
Yeah.
There's a priest in this village, played by him as well. He's a weird character. When she's talking to him about the relationship issues she has, he kind of blames her and says, "Why didn't you listen to him? He said he was going to hurt himself. Why didn't you listen?" Like he's not your average priest. He comes across very aggressive towards her.
Right, right.
All the men in this they have different elements of themselves that kind of are maybe elements of how she sees men in society, which
Mm.
is why maybe all these different characters have the same face.
I
Because now
gotcha.
sometimes women say, "Oh, men, they're all the same." That's
Yeah.
what I thought this might be like, because
Yes.
she's experienced men, all these different men, but with similar traits that maybe she's carried with her to this place, and they're exhibiting themselves in a weird way. Because
That's such an interesting thing.
no one else in the town sees these men as the same. And there's no other women in the town, actually. I don't remember there being any other women. There might. Oh, yeah, there is.
Ooh.
Yeah, police officer. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
police officer. But even the police officer, there's a man, one woman, one man. The man also has this guy's
This
face, Roy
guy's face,
Kinnear.
yeah.
They've all got his face. There's even a teenager in a school uniform, got his face. They've digitally made it smaller. That teenager's rude to her, and yeah, everyone, all the men, like, they don't treat her well, but it's very
Mm.
subtle. It's got these horror sort of undertones.
Yeah.
They don't hit they don't hit at you straight away. So she's going through all these things. She's trying to get away from life and just trying to chill out and stuff. And she has these interactions with these men, and they're all kind of off. The worst interaction that she has is she goes on a walk in the countryside, and she sees this from a distance, like a naked man. And she's like, "Shit, what's this naked man doing?" And as the naked man starts to follow her, she runs home.
Yeah.
She runs home now, and after some time, we realize the naked man's followed her home, and she calls the police. The police come, make her think it's all in her head, and then
Ah,
the naked man shows up. They arrest him, take him away. Then she finds out later the naked man's been released. Again, the police don't listen to her properly and say, "Oh, it's nothing." She's trying to say the man tried to break into her house. They don't believe
mm,
her. All these little things happen. It's all weird. The whole
yeah.
setting's weird. I'm going to fast forward to the end, because at the end, something crazy really happens. I'm even not sure if I should say it to you, because
Do
one
it.
of those
Say it.
things.
Say it. I want to hear it. Because you know what? All I got
Okay.
to say is so far the review has been every single thing that you've said. I've been like, wow, this sounds creepy, uneasy. It sounds weird.
mm,
Oh man, seriously, go and do
the,
it.
the
Do it.
naked man. who looks like Roy Kinnear, all the same face. He comes to the house. He's naked, trying to break in. She's got a knife, like trying to stop him and stuff like that. Obviously, some other stuff happens with a car, other bits and bobs. I'm fast forwarding here, but he comes into the house. He gets into the house. He's naked, and he starts to shout. Like he's all going he's going and then he sits on the floor and he's going and then you see that he's got a fanny. He's got a
Oh,
fanny.
oh
Yeah, he's got a
shit.
fanny, and he's going and then something's coming out of his fanny, and then all of a sudden also you see his belly swells up like he's pregnant, and then something comes out of his fanny. You start seeing it coming out, and you realize he's giving birth.
Oh my
And then you
God.
realize what comes out of him is mad. The thing that comes out of him is him. So another version of him comes out, and then that one comes out, and then literally 30 seconds later, the belly swells up again, and he's going and then he gives birth. He gives birth to the kid version of him,
Oh
and that
my
kid
gosh.
version gives birth again. They give birth about 5 times. It's crazy. And you see a close up of the fanny. The fanny opens up. You see the head coming out, all blood and all that. But then the last version, the last version,
You're killing me. You're
the,
killing
la-
me.
the last version that comes out is an ex-husband, and he's black.
Oh God.
He comes out, this white man. He comes out, and then
This is this is
there's,
classic. This is
comes
classic.
out and all bloody and that, and she's like, all this time she's crazy, she's holding the knife, doesn't know what to do. She's look, and it gets into the living room. She sits down. I guess by
Yeah.
then she's accepted the fact. She sits down. Her husband sits next to her,
Yeah.
and she's like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "I just want you to love me. That's it." And then, yeah, it's mad.
Wow.
It's mad.
That is, you know what?
It's mad.
A couple of things come to mind. That you doing that shake thing is just obviously like, hilarious. That's my next funniest thing now when I re-listen to this thing. But is it him? Because Alex Garland, he likes, there's a lot of symbolism and there's a lot of kind of all that stuff
Yeah.
going on in his work. So is he trying to say that we're all versions of this? We're all basically the same. Men are all the same. Women give birth to the same people. It's just like that's what I just think about. Oh my God.
I had to watch 4 or 5 YouTube videos of other people trying to dissect what I just saw, and they were stumped as well. But some people talk about paganism, because there's like a bit with the guy, the naked guy, sort of in touch with the trees and stuff, and they're saying it's to do with that. But there's all kinds of madness. It's you got to watch it. Film's not
You
long; it's an
know,
hour and a half,
yeah.
but it's mad.
This is I devout. I gotta just say this. I remember when you messaged me. You messaged me on
Yeah.
WhatsApp, and you said that you saw men. I've got this message. He said, "This is what you said, folks who are listening." You said, "I watched Men. I still don't know what I saw, but I'll need therapy."
I'm telling you, man. You got.
Do you know
I'm
how much
telling
I
you,
laughed?
man.
I burst out laughing, and
I'm
now
telling you,
listening
man.
to what you're saying about the movie, yeah, it's all true. Seriously, oh
It's
my
mad.
gosh.
It's mad. The whole film is weird.
I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait.
Gotta watch
Listen,
it.
it was supposed to be coming out, but for some reason over here, they're a bit weird over here where, yeah,
Probably got banned. Fuck, mate.
who knows, man? Who knows? But listen, folks, go out and check Men Out. And I know you're
Mm.
probably, you might be listening to this podcast with one right now. So look over and just kind of, make sure that they're like, there's nothing strange. But listen, yeah, go check it out. It's out in cinemas. Alex Garland, great director, great writer and stuff. And yeah, this sounds crazy and interesting at the same time. So thanks for that, Divaldo. That's brilliant. The next movie now, what should we do? Should we do Spiderhead or should we do Lightyear? Which one do you want to go for next?
Uh, Lightyear, like Lightyear. I guess we can do
Yeah,
Spiderhead
yeah,
all the time. I
exactly.
guess
Yeah. So let's do light air. So I did manage to go out and watch this because
need
obviously I
something
took
light after that. Trust me.
exactly. Yeah, need to shake it all off or something.
Yeah.
And listen, man, I'm not like I think I've mentioned this to you before. Like I'm not like a huge animation like person.
Mm,
Like and yeah, if it's on Disney Plus or if it's on Netflix, yeah, you'll watch it. And actually going out to the cinema to watch an animation, it just doesn't happen. But on this one I did, because I obviously had to take the little one, because he was like, oh, let's go see Lightyear, and he's a fan
mm,
of Toy Story and everything, and Toy Story movies are like, they're great and everything. There's the graphics in those movies are all fantastic.
mm,
But I was interested in the story, because for me, I was like, how are they gonna continue on this Buzz Lightyear story? Because it's not Tim Allen. He's not doing the voice of Buzz
mm,
Lightyear. It's Chris Evans, aka Captain America. So I was kind of interested in that whole thing. And I thought, is this just going to be like too clever for its own good? I'm not going to like it and everything. And so went into the screening, loads of kids in the screening, obviously. And kind of got nice and comfortable. And yeah, I was it's kind of like, in a way, I thought to myself, hang on, is this humor? It's not really aimed at kids.
mm,
Like
mm.
my 6-year-old, I don't think he got hardly any of the jokes. And then for me,
Okay.
I was laughing more than what
Mm,
he was laughing. And um and then I just thought, right, okay, look, you know what? It is what it is. It's an animation, it's a Pixar movie. Let me go with it and everything. So the story is that the kid from Toy Story in 1995 is a huge fan of Buzz Lightyear, and that
mm.
toy is based off of a movie, and the movie Lightyear is that movie.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
how Pixar and Disney, that's how they kind of
Mm,
make this all kind of thing. So the toy is based off a movie, and then
mm,
that movie is this movie. So about
mm,
a space ranger called Buzz Lightyear. He and his his commander, who oh shit, I've forgotten what her name is. um I can't remember what she was voiced with. I should have had this up ready anyway, but let me just get it up over here. Lightyear cast. Um,
Kiki Palmer.
Kiki Palmer. She plays Izzy. Is it
Mm.
Izzy? Or was that the granddaughter? I can't even remember now. Yeah.
Izzy. She
So
plays Izzy Hawthorne.
that's it. She plays Izzy. It's got Taika Waititi, but he comes in later. But basically,
Okay.
so it's Buzz Lightyear and his commander. They're on a mission. They um, they land on this planet where it's hostile, and then they're like, okay, we need to get off this planet. And we need to kind of, carry on with our space mission. And in this space mission that they've got, they enter into light speed, but then no, hang on a second, Deval, I think I might have even got this all wrong. It's
Mm.
they end up on a planet. The planet is hostile, and then they get stuck on this planet. They can't get anywhere,
Oh.
and then they decide to basically stay on the planet.
Mm.
This is it.
Okay.
This is it. Then they set up a colony on the planet. They live there. They kind of like, they start growing things. They start kind of like, becoming kind of, living in with part of the planet. But
Mm,
Buzz Lightyear, he's like, listen, I need to get our people home. We need to kind of like, move on. We need to kind
mm,
of, crack this whole thing. So he decides to kind of um to get into a spaceship. He wants to travel light speed around the sun
mhm.
at warp speed, which then can give them the power to get into another kind of planet, whatever. Unfortunately, he travels at such speed that it's
Ooh.
4 minutes of his time, but on that planet it's 4 years.
Oh, yes. Just that's like in Interstellar. Ooh.
Exactly. It reminded me of
Ooh.
Interstellar big time. So every single time he does that time, that kind of interstellar travel, four
Mm.
years are basically kind of like 4 years pass on that planet. So every
Wow.
single time, so Izzy, she gets older, she gets older. She has like, she has a partner, same sex partner, and they have
Oh,
they
Disney are doing that now, yeah?
Disney are doing that right now, and it was
Oh,
banned
okay.
in China. This movie,
I can imagine.
China,
Yeah, yeah.
China, they wanted the cuts, and Disney were like, "Screw you, we're not going to have the cuts." And then apparently they didn't release it in China. So there's all that
Mm,
stuff going on. So which is great for Disney and everything. So every single time he tries to go on this mission, Izzy, she just basically gets older, and the kids start growing up and everything, and then before you know it, 100 years or 60, sorry, not 100 years, like about 80
ooh,
years have passed, and now Izzy's dead.
oh,
There's no one
shit.
left. There's no one
Mm,
left. But who is left is Izzy's granddaughter. She's a kid.
mm,
And with Izzy's help and with Taika Waititi's help, who plays Mo Morrison, they've got to basically try and get off the planet. And, the plot sounds convoluted and it kind of sounds like as if it's crazy, but yeah, man,
mm,
I actually enjoyed it. I came out of out of the screening and I thought this is actually really, really decent. There's kind of, Disney and Pixar, they do that thing where they tug on your heartstrings a lot, and there's
mm.
a lot of
Yeah,
kind of questions about death and about getting old and about, oh, what is your role in life and everything, and about or
purpose.
finding
Sounds
your
like Soul. Some remember Soul had the same sort of thing. They probably
same
have the
thing
same. Probably got like a whiteboard or something of bullet points that need to be in every movie. The
movie.
same formula, copy and pasted to all the different movies. I
Exactly.
reckon.
Pull on the heartstrings, talk
Yeah,
about death, like, talk about kind of like, adventure and all that sort of stuff.
yeah. Your purpose
All
in
those,
life
your
and all
purpose
that.
in life,
Mm,
all of that stuff is all in there, man. And I'm not saying it's kind of like a classic for me. Like Up, I really liked Up. I remember watching that movie. I thought that
mm,
was a really great movie. I saw Soul. I really like Soul. It's kind of in between those two.
okay.
And I was like, it'd be interesting to see how this kind of character of Buzz Lightyear came about. And yeah, man, it's kind of interesting. There's time travel in there. There's kind of all this sort of stuff about finding your purpose in life, and about going
Mm,
on an adventure and looking out to the stars and wondering what's out there. So they've got all of that sort of stuff going on there. And my only thing is like, it's a Pixar movie, it's an animation, but how much of the kids are actually going to get those kind of deeper moments? I don't
mm,
know. If you're a bit older, a kid, yeah, 12, 13, 14 years old you are, but certainly a 6-year-old, like I'm pretty
mm.
sure Lucas was like, what the hell's going on over here? I heard him
Mm.
laugh once throughout the whole movie. That was
Is
it.
it? Oh my gosh. Maybe they do have. Maybe they're catering more to the
To
adult
the
audience,
older and
and then
older
they
kids.
action set pieces and stuff for the kids. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I asked
Mm,
him, I said to him, hey, listen, what did you think? He said he liked it.
okay.
But I think maybe that was kind of like the action things and that sort of
Mm,
stuff. But the actual core message of the movie,
mm,
I
mm,
think would have went
mm.
over his head.
Okay.
But if you're looking for an animation with heart and with that kind of Buzz Lightyear character, yeah, do it. Go out and watch it. It's decent.
Okay. All right. I'll probably
Yeah,
wait for it to be on Disney Plus though, I reckon. But I
it's gonna
probably will
probably
watch
come
it at
out
some
soon.
point. Yeah.
It's gonna be coming out soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's about it, man. We don't have time for Spiderhead. We can speak about that next week.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm down for that. I am down.
And yeah, so that's the end of the show, folks. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember, get in touch with us on Instagram and all that sort of stuff. Hit us up
Twitter,
on there.
Facebook,
Yep.
YouTube, all of that.
What have we, what else is going to be coming out soon?
Coming out soon. You mentioned Kiki Palmer. Nope is coming out soon.
Yes.
I don't think it's June actually. I think it's July. But I
Well, in a
guess also
couple of
Love
weeks'
and
time,
Thunder.
Love and
Love and
Thunder.
Thunder's July, I think, as well. But yeah, there should be. I think the Black Phone. The Black
Yes,
Phone with what's his name? Ethan Hawke.
with Ethan Hawke. Yep.
That's out soon as well. Horror. So I'll be watching that for sure. So yeah.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Well, actually, mind you, Bullet Train. That's going to be a bit later. But listen, Doctor Strange Part 2 is coming out on Disney
Disney
Plus
Plus.
on the 22nd.
Yep, 22nd of June. So yeah, you can watch that in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah. All right. That's it. That's all we've got time for.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.